Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of BioNexus Health Podcast series, Autism Uprooted. Today, we have the privilege of having with us Sangeeta and her husband Ram, all the way from India. They will be joining us from India. And Sangeeta has agreed to share with us her remarkable journey with her son, diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, and his equally remarkable recovery.
Welcome to the BioNexus Health Podcast with Dr. Jodie A. Dashore, who holds a PhD in integrative medicine, is board certified in integrative pediatrics, an internationally recognized pioneering clinician, and author. And now here's your host of BioNexus Health Podcast, Dr. Jodie A. Dashore.
I'd like to give a huge welcome to Sangeeta and Ram, all the way from India. Welcome, guys. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's our pleasure.
Awesome. So let's get started. Can you tell me, when was your beautiful little boy Aarav? When was he first diagnosed to be on the autism spectrum, and what have you done for him earlier, before you heard about BioNexus Health, before you heard about herbal treatment options? Meaning, what was your journey before you got to me?
I sensed his situation a bit earlier. I mean, 2.5. He was 2.5. So he was a bit different. He was not mingling with his kids his own age. He was not playing with them. So I thought there is something different with him, and there might be some kind of problem with him.
Okay.
So I searched on the net, and I contacted some of the doctors here in India, and I went to even Bombay and got a diagnosis that he has regressive autism. But then they asked me to do this occupational therapy and speech therapy, and gave some kind of sedative, I would say, sedative to lessen his hyperactivity, and a cod liver oil. That's it. I think there were 2 medicines. So I started giving him those medicines, but he was a bit drowsy, and he was sleeping all the time. So I thought to myself, then I won't continue with this medicine. So then I searched more and more, and then I came to know about BioNexus and audio lectures in conferences like Autism One.
Yes.
And, so I tried to reach you people, and you people replied fast, and then we contacted you. And the moment you started to treat him and give the medicine, with his first protocol, he has showed immense development, and he started speaking as just like you have seen right now. Earlier, he won't understand a thing what I'm saying to him. Or he won't even sit in a place for more than 10 seconds. It was that bad, and he was jumping every time. He was so hyperactive. Thanks to you and thanks to BioNexus, I'm very thankful to you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. No. It's been an honor, to be able to help a little child in this way, because it's going to change the trajectory of his entire life if he receives proper care right in the beginning. So that is, and it's not just BioNexus Health. I believe that there are many brilliant herbalists all over the world that can help, but somehow everybody that I've heard so far from India, that India is where herbalism was born. More, right? Ayurvedic is like thousands of years old, and unfortunately nowadays, at least from the people that I speak with in India, who have approached me, it's very different approach. Ayurvedic uh, isn't as organized or like targeted for autism, not that I've heard. And then, psychiatric medicines like sedatives are being prescribed to control hyperactivity in very little children. So I'm really glad he's doing
Even
well.
I have seen in his therapy classes, the people, mothers who bring their child, I feel for them. They are only sleeping and they are only they are so drowsy. They can't understand a thing and they're only sleeping. So I feel bad for them. I also tell them there is hope and you can try another medicine, which I am trying, but they are not convinced. So what can I do? I
No,
feel
no,
bad
that's
for them.
fine. That's fine. We the best, you and I, because I, as you know, am an autism mom as well. The best that you and I can do is to share our story, and you just leave it to them to make their make their own decisions. That's the best we can do.
Totally up to their interpretation. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I would like to ask Ram. Ram, as a father, how did you feel when Sangeeta said, someone is all the way in the US, she lectures at conferences, and she's doing only plant-based, natural, right, herbal medicines. It's going to be an online consultation. So how did you feel as a father, and what improvements have you seen, from your perspective in your son?
I'm very happy, ma'am, because when we started your consultation before that, when he was about 2.5 years old, at that time he don't even sit for a 10 seconds. We can say that he can't stay calm, and he don't sleep at the right time. He can run from here and there, anytime, every time. So it is very difficult for us to stay calm. After his first protocol only, we are thinking and we are taking very much, and he is very calm now. So I'm very happy. I'm very much happy.
But he didn't believe me at first. He was
Actually,
totally in denial. Say okay.
yes,
He was not totally in denial, but he was skeptical because
Yes.
he is a police officer and he deals with cyber criminals all the time. I also mentioned in first previous emails to your staff that it's a huge risk for us to give our credit card details. So it was risky, and but then also I took a leap of faith,
Right.
and it
It's
turned out good for us.
Yes. That is, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yes. So Ram is a police officer who handles cyber criminals. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
No, previously for 3 years because he gets transferred all the time.
Right.
So a year before he was dealing with cyber criminals, and
Okay.
it's very hard to catch them because they leave no traces. How will you catch someone who's sitting behind somewhere in the world and doing all these
Right.
things?
Right. And I can hear Aarav, playing in the background, and he's constantly talking. He's trying to learn.
He's
actually he
talking,
is singing,
he's singing rhymes.
singing rhymes. That Johnny Johnny yes Papa and Baba Black Sheep
Yes,
and Lakdi Ki Kathi,
Hindi, English,
Hindi
and
English.
sometimes he
Sometimes
sounds in Chinese
Oh, really? That's interesting. How kids' brains
because
develop.
no, whatever he sees in YouTube, he tries
Yes.
to repeat it, and his pronunciation is good. So he can pronounce anything and say anything, even if it's a new word. Not that what he's hearing every time, but even if you say something new to him, he will say it back.
Hmm. So let's go back to the beginning again. I have a question. So you mentioned that he had difficulty with hyperactivity, focus, concentration, learning, sitting down in one place. He was not. He also had sleep issues, right? So, okay, how was his? So let's talk about sleep and his gut. So if you can tell me his sleep and gut prior and his sleep and gut
After.
after. Yeah.
As he was not sleeping in the afternoon. Now he's sleeping, but he's not sleeping in the afternoon. And in night also, he used to stay awake till late, 1 or 2 in the
Oh,
morning.
okay.
And that was very hectic for us also because he had to sometimes go in the raid and he was out all the night and I'm handling the child alone. It was difficult. And the most the biggest relief for me is that his gut got healed. He had leaky gut. He had leaky gut. I searched in the internet that what is leaky. I didn't know about anything. What is autism? What is leaky gut? And I searched it, and I that's why I contacted you. And within a month, I would say within a month, his gut improved, and I was so relieved because every week it was like a havoc. And I was stressed all the time. I couldn't introduce new food to him because he would have constant diarrhea. So it
Okay.
was very difficult for me to introduce anything new, any new food to him. Introducing was very difficult. And also previously I was giving him milk. So after I came to know that we should avoid the dairy and gluten, so I stopped it. I went on a GSP of diet
Hmm.
and plus your medicine. That worked like wonders for him.
Okay.
His gut got healed in 1 or 2 months, I would say. And his eye contact improved. That was two things in the first 2 months that I needed after giving him.
Okay. So you contacted for a consultation abroad. We shipped all the medications to you, so it certainly wasn't easy. And then on top of that, it is a difficult protocol. I mean, the diet is difficult, and I shouldn't say difficult. It actually depends on your motivation. Like for me, when I was determined that I'm going to look at all of the root causes, that something is going on with Brian. I need to find out what's going on. And I was all in, 100%. I was in. I said, I'll do what needs to be done.
Anything. You will move mountains for your kids.
Yes, exactly. So how did you manage with all the elements of the protocol? Yes, there are step 1, 2, and 3. And with the first protocol, step 1 itself, you saw a lot of benefits. So how did you manage all the capsules, all the liquids? You change of the diet. You just went cold turkey. How did you do it?
I I went for it just one thing at a time. I would give just like you said, I would give one medicine and see the effect for a week, and the, only then I would start the next medicine. So that was my mantra. Gradually and
Yes.
slowly, and with the support of my family and friends, I was
Yes.
able to do it.
Okay. So your family and friends have been supportive. I can see that your husband has Ram. You have been her rock in all of this.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes,
ma'am. Always.
absolutely.
Yeah, that is wonderful. I was speaking to another couple from Chennai just the other day, and they were speaking, how their son has recovered, and always, mom and dad have to be on the same
They
page,
have to work as a team.
right?
Otherwise, not possible. A
Right.
single person, even if it's possible, even if it is possible physically, it is too overwhelming.
Mhm.
It is to get a diagnosis like autism, and you're thinking about it day and night. It's quite overwhelming.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It was hard for me, but now I have hope that I will recover soon.
Yeah, he seems to be on his way. So you found that his sleep improved, his diarrhea, stomach problems, food sensitivities, that those improved as well. And then, when did he start speaking?
He started speaking previous month only on Women's Day. No, sorry, Mother's Day.
On Mother? Oh, he started. Oh, wow! What a beautiful gift.
Yeah. And I was so excited. I'd share it in my Facebook story and WhatsApp status. I was so happy. I was so happy. I was in cloud nine. I mean, that is a huge achievement for us as a family.
Yes. And how was his speech development? He started speaking, he started acknowledging you as mom and dad. And then what happened? First what came in, and what did you observe? How was the progress of his speech?
I think before speaking continuously, he would speak once in a while after giving him uh, many. Either he will give him sweets or chocolate. Only then he would say something. So we were quite kind of bribing him to say something, but then he gradually stopped. I realized that it's not good for him. So I started giving him verbal, what do you say?
Prompts?
Perfect.
Yes, verbal. I don't know. I'm missing the word.
Prompt? Are you looking
Yeah.
for verbal prompting?
I was applauding him.
Yes.
That he was good. Yeah, he's doing good. So then he gained the confidence and say it all in once.
Oh, okay,
I
great.
clapped for him.
Yes.
So that's that was the way. I think that was the key to getting
Okay.
him speaking.
Did you need to do any kind of speech therapy, ABA therapy, whatever, OT, sensory integration, in order for you to see any gains? Or did he just gain purely on the herbal protocol?
Um, No, I he was in therapy for a year, I think a year, but it was difficult for him because in India it's not like it's one-to-one session.
Okay.
Many children are jam-packed in a room, and all of them are restless because they don't want to sit in a place. And after seeing them, he also got agitated. So
Oh,
I don't
right.
think it was working that much for him. But as for his anxiety, I was trying to calm him in home. There was a swing installed in my home and trampoline in my home. So for his sensory, I also gave him signs. So I tried to calm his anxiety in my own way. And and on top of that, I'm sure you mentioned to us that he is much calmer. He's sitting in a place for half an hour, I think, more than half an hour.
Yes, I hear him. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, he's eating a snack and watching YouTube.
Okay, he's eating a snack and yeah. So he's able to do self-soothing. He's able to keep himself occupied. Yeah, wonderful. So,
And earlier he didn't need to ride a bicycle. Now he can ride a bicycle and a scooter. And also he likes people's company now. And whoever he wants to play with him, he equally enjoys playing with them. That's the missing problem.
Okay. So he is able to, that's what I was saying. Wait, because I hadn't heard this. He's able to ride a scooter. He has that coordination as well.
Yeah.
So
And he can ride it very fast.
Wow.
He's like very fast.
Because my flat is about, I think it's 2,000 square feet approximately, and it's a long hallway. He rides in it very fast.
He can ride in a whole hall.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's aware of safety. He's not running. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not. The parks are closed here after lockdown, so we can't take him
Yes.
anywhere. So I try to buy things, small things for him in the home to enjoy as much as possible.
Yes. What I was asking was when he is riding his scooter, with the high speed around your flat, your apartment. He has proper safety considerations. He has the eye-hand coordination. He has the visual motor coordination to stay safe. He's not bumping into furniture.
He can ride.
No, it's, I think it has improved
Eye contact
in a year. I think earlier also it was there, but now it has immensely improved. He
Okay.
can turn the bike and scooter on his own and control the speed. I
Okay.
think I wasn't able to do that in like 5 years.
No, exactly. I mean, yeah, exactly. With boys, I mean, at age 5, if he's saying all the letters of the alphabet, if he knows A for apple, B for boy, all the way to from A to Z, and he knows his numbers, he's saying poetry and rhymes. It's just fantastic. And he's speaking in 2 languages. He's beginning to understand Mandarin a little bit. That's just amazing. So I would say he is,
And also, I got him checked in a mental institute. I needed to get a certificate, and they told me his IQ is 121.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's they told me that IQ for genius.
His IQ is 121. See, remember, you know what, Sangeeta? I remember speaking to you guys at the first appointment, and one of the things that we both agreed on, when I saw Aarav, that he seems like a very smart kid. It's just that, something is hiding behind that autism type behavior. Something is not coming to the forefront.
Exactly. He was not. I think he wasn't able to figure out how to communicate, how to say the right word at the right time.
Right. He also seems to be, his personality seems to be quite mature for his age. He is right. He seems to be very compassionate. He seems to be very sensitive.
Yes, he is. He understands emotions quite well. Even if I'm scolding him for something wrong he did, he would cry and he would make me smile with his fingers.
Oh,
He would do like this.
so he would come to you and try to make you smile with his little fingers. Oh, wow.
Smile, yes.
Yeah. Another thing that is interesting.
Also,
Yes.
yes.
No, sorry. Go ahead. What else? Go ahead.
Actually, when we call him for something going wrong, he come and he hug us that don't call me please.
Yes. What was I going to ask? Yes. So actually, this is June of 2021, and the pandemic started last year when the whole world went into lockdown, and for most families who have children with autism, it was an extremely difficult and challenging time. But for you guys, you actually continue to see improvements in Aarav.
It has been a kind of boom for us, I think, because we were home at all the time.
Yes.
Schools were closed. But I tried to make the most of it. I enrolled him in a online speech occupational therapy online because something is better than nothing.
Yes.
I think that. So in India, they have started a program of occupational therapy. They would send you storybooks or some kind of activities online, and they will tell you how to teach you your kids. So I was
Okay.
enrolled in
Okay.
so that has been quite helpful for us.
Okay. How does he do? How does he do with his grandparents?
He is very friendly with my mom because my mom is very compassionate and they are always hugging,
Oh,
kissing each other.
yeah.
We look forward to meeting his granny.
So he's interacting. He's interacting. He recognizes. He says, "Okay, yeah, that must be so wonderful." All right.
Yeah.
Good.
And he knows what each person would do with him when his father comes. So he knows that he would take him for a drive. So he hurriedly wear his shoes and wear his clothes somehow and ask his father to take him to drive.
Okay. So he's able to get dressed on his own, the shoes and socks and
Because no, he can't tie laces now.
okay.
We have given him Crocs, so Crocs are easy to wear. And
Yes.
we try to now. I am teaching him to put his buttons on. He can wear a t-shirt and a pant.
Okay.
He can do on his own. He can brush his teeth also. He can take a bath himself. So half of my problems are solved. Big thanks to you.
Oh, absolutely. That is excellent to have a child make so much progress and in such a short time. So that Ram, how does he behave in the car with you when you take him on car rides? Is there a safety concern? Does he understand he needs to wear his seatbelt? Is he quiet?
Yeah, he sits quietly in my beside seat, front driver seat.
Okay.
Taking him ride is not difficult for us. He enjoy riding.
He likes it.
You just want to
He
feel
just want
to feel the wind in the hair.
So he seems to be enjoying his life, and both of you as well look so much less stressed now than when I first met you.
Yes.
That's huge relief. Even my family and friends didn't believe me. I'm telling you, they didn't believe me at all that the supplements and the the antibiotics or microbial you're saying
Yes.
are not going to work. They're herbal, and how can you believe
Yes.
such a protocol? Then I told him I believe and I have faith in her, and I will go for it. Let's see what happens.
Yes. So we did, both of you believe at finding underlying causes. That you mentioned that you had heard some of my lectures at autism conferences, and so what we did for you guys, Sangeeta, is we started with a lot of lab testing for Aarav, right? We did a lot of labs, and we found a lot of infections and toxins which he had in his little body. Right. Did that surprise you? Were you surprised? Were you shocked when you saw all that?
No, because um, I read about it, and I was expecting it because I knew because his diagnosis as a regressive autism, uh, I couldn't believe it because I knew because he was okay and he was perfectly normal child and have a normal childbirth and there's no family history of autism in our family. So I knew there are underlying causes and I was just searching for the right doctor who I can contact. So I found you.
Right.
And it didn't come to me as a surprise because I read about it, what could be the causes of having symptoms like autism. So I knew and I was hoping because if you have that kind of symptoms, then you are going to treat it. That which is treatable, you know. Completely
That's
treatable. I'm not going to say it because you are going to treat it. I have faith in you.
right. I love the way you said, autism is treatable. Yes, you should, it's right. You have such a little child who has his whole life ahead of him. So the least you can do is at least look for any underlying causes, do your research, and in case there are any underlying causes, we found so many things going on with Aarav, then treat those, and you will definitely see changes. That's the key there. Yeah.
If it was genetic, or how can the medicine would have helped him? No, he's improving. That means that you are treating and you are giving him the right medicine.
Yes. And if you recall, his protocol is entirely customized, right? We did some genetic testing as well as all the lab tests that we did. Aarav's protocol and all of his herbals and supplements and vitamins, they were all completely customized to the results we saw in all the labs.
Yes, it was.
Hmm. Yeah. So I feel that customization is very important because no two children are the same. Just because you have a diagnosis of severe autism, regressive autism, it's important to realize that every child is different.
Every child is different. Even the twins are not the same exactly.
Yes.
Different fingerprints.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Now, I do have many twins on my caseload, in my practice. Recently, I actually have triplets now. And yes, here, it's a family from Canada, and mom has triplets, and each one has their own unique set of presentation. The same unique set, not the same, sorry, a unique set of problems. So they're all diagnosed being on the spectrum,
Okay.
but each one has a predominant issue which is different from the other, and they have their own set of skills, their own set of positives and negatives, if you want to put it that way. And we know that in children with autism, any kind of negatives, you should always try to turn them around. Look for what's going on, what's the cause of those negatives, and try to turn the negatives into positives.
Exactly. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Let's hope he keep on improving more and more.
He will. Lots of blessings from my side as well for the little guy. He's just so cute. I mean, the big eyes with his eye contact, and he's saying stuff, and oh my gosh, I'm just so proud. I'm proud of all of you for sticking with everything.
Thanks to you and your team and your staff.
Oh,
Thanks to do all the things.
Absolutely. How did Aarav manage with all of the herbal drops? Sorry, all of the capsules. You had to open the capsules, put them in water, applesauce, and herbal drops. And how did you manage with all of that?
It's in orange juice,
Okay.
from pomegranate juice.
Okay.
I was determined that, like anything, I'm going to do anything just to put medicine in his body. I mean, I would try anything. But thanks to him also, he didn't hesitated or opposed me very much. He was very cooperative. And play and read and go on drive and play all the time.
Yeah. What I find is many autistic children, like we mentioned, are very sensitive, and especially if autism seems to be a false positive diagnosis, then, as they start to feel their body getting better, like with Aarav, right? He started to feel his gut getting better, because nonverbal children cannot really express, and as is, small children cannot express what exactly is going on. So it gets worse when kids are nonverbal and they have pain in the stomach, they have pain in the gut, they're having diarrhea, they might have body aches and pains, because with underlying infections, it can be headaches, it can be joint pains, right? Pains in the fingers, in the legs. So they're not able to express.
Yes. So that's why he was earlier crying and he was having meltdown, I think 4 or 5 times a day.
Wow.
And just look at him now, he's jumping and playing and happy.
Yes. Yes. And I've also heard from other mothers, other parents speak that once they start to feel better, then they become more cooperative with herbals and vitamins and specific supplements. And even if they are slightly bitter, they know that somehow it's working for their body and they want to get better.
He has been very cooperative, thank God. So that's why he's improving.
Yes. So Ram, are you proud of your son? You must be so proud of your son now.
Yes, I'm very so much proud. All because of you and team and your team, and hope I will get soon.
Yes, I hope to meet all of you guys one day. It would be amazing, to just meet everybody once. All my patients in India, I'll fly down one day, and we can all meet at some excellent place. And Ram, you can organize the security for me, and then I'll be there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, man.
He's an expert for that.
Okay, amazing. Now, can you summarize for me, Sangeeta, in a few lines? Can you summarize for me what would you say? What were your thoughts for Aarav before starting the herbal protocol? It's okay. Let him play. It's late at night for you guys, right? And he's just being
Be pampered.
yeah, of course.
He wants to be harmed and
So sorry.
Now he's dressed up and he want to go out and
Oh.
riding.
Okay, he wants to go riding.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to take him after that.
Yeah, soon. Yeah. So, all right. So let's quickly summarize then.
What was the question, ma'am?
Yes, my request was, can you summarize for me in a few lines? What was your thoughts about Aarav earlier, and how did those thoughts change once you've seen the changes on the herbal protocol?
To tell you the truth, ma'am, earlier it was a living hell for me and my family, and most importantly for him, because he was constantly ill. He had leaky gut, he would have infections every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks he was getting some kind of infection, or his stomach was constantly upset, and he would jump all the time. He would jump all the time. He was crying all the time. Could not sleep or sit at a place quietly. So it was literally a hell for all of us. After the protocol, he gradually, his gut, first of all, his gut improved, and in the coming months, his infection subsided, his appetite increased, his eye contact increased, and the list goes on. And now he's speaking, and then what can I say? Everything which I was worried about, like how would he cope up with the world as a normal kid? How would he would join the mainstream? So I am now happy and I'm satisfied and I'm hopeful that he is going to lead his life normally.
Amen to that, amen to that. Yeah, exactly. Wow. What a journey it's been for you. I'm glad you are at this level where both of you are happy, you're calm, both of you are looking forward to a good future. You know that he's ready for school, right? In the middle of this terrible tragedies that have been happening in India with COVID, you know that your child has a good immune system now.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So earlier I was very skeptical, or I feared that if I could take him to park, he would get any kind of infection or what. So now I'll take him to park. Not now, before lockdown.
Yes.
So he's happy in the park. He enjoys in park, and he tries to play with all the kids there.
And he won't want to come back.
Yeah, he doesn't want to come home back.
Yeah. So he wants to play with other kids. He's calm. He is eye contact, approaching, talking. He doesn't want to come home. Fantastic. I mean, seriously, whoever diagnosed him with autism, you should take your child back and say, hey, what's up now?
Actually, his memory is also very sharp, ma'am, and he can recognize the place where we can take breath, and he recognizes that there is a place and there is a park here, or there is a shop where I can get a chocolate.
Yes.
And even he recognizes the direction of the road also. When we drive that, no, this in that direction there is a no stop, and he started saying, no, and that.
Well, he has an IQ of 120 plus. So,
Yes.
So right, yeah. So, he's going to make you very proud. Yes. Thank you so very much, Ram and Sangeeta, for sharing your wonderful journey with your son with me today. I'm very grateful for your generosity with your time.
For us to share our story with you and all the people.
So that brings us to the conclusion of this episode of Autism Uprooted. I hope it has been helpful to all those watching. So thank you for joining me today. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Namaste.
Thank you for joining Master Herbalist Dr. Jodie A. Dashore, Director of the BioNexus Health Clinic and BioNexus Herbals, on the BioNexus Health Podcast, where we explore and share information and stories about recovering and healing from chronic and environmental illnesses such as mold biotoxin illness, Lyme disease, autism spectrum disorder, fatigue, Crohn's and colitis, mast cell activation syndrome, PANS, and more. Please help us grow our message by subscribing to our podcast channel and sharing the podcast on your social networks. For more information, visit bionexushealth.com.
Information within this video, audio, or text collectively known as the podcast, has not been reviewed by the FDA. Nothing within the podcast is intended as or should be construed as medical advice. Information is for general informational and educational purposes only. Consumers of the podcast should consult with their healthcare practitioners for medical recommendations. Seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider. Do not disregard the advice of a healthcare provider based on any information from the podcast. The information within the podcast may contain information concerning dietary supplements or over-the-counter products that are not drugs. Our dietary supplement products are not intended for use as a means to cure, treat, prevent, diagnose, or mitigate any disease or other medical or abnormal condition.